Hello and welcome to Little Live Story, the show where we take a movie, turn it into an anime.
And an anime into a movie.
Hi, I'm Jared.
And I'm Eric. And just so you know that we have lots of knowledge and no lives.
MyAnimeList.net says I have about 200 days worth of anime watching experience.
And my movie collection is somewhere in the 900 range, and my letterbox says I've seen something like 1,300. Just so there's no confusion, the goal of our little thought experiment here is to basically imagine if an anime was conceived as a Hollywood movie and a Hollywood movie was conceived as a Japanese anime.
All right, are you ready?
I suppose.
All right, here's your challenge. Dragon Ball Z.
The Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z. DBZ.
Okay, so I have to make it a good movie?
Yes.
All right, we're already starting off hard.
Oh, and for the record, Eric hates anime.
Hates is a... Yeah, maybe. Give me the quick version again.
So, Goku, well, I'm going to skip Dragon Ball. But basically, Raditz arrives on planet Earth to basically recruit Goku. Goku says, fuck you. He's like, all right, I'm going to steal your son. Steals his son. Piccolo and Goku, who up till now were enemies, fight Raditz together. They kill him. And then he's like, there's other Saiyans. And then the other Saiyans arrive, Vegeta and Nappa, and they all have to fight him together.
All right, okay, then we're good.
Wait, what do you mean we're good?
I mean, I know the rest. Like it's Dragon Ball Z. I didn't really need a plot recap.
All right, go ahead.
So, all right. So, boom, big flashy opening, right? Big space battle above planet Vegeta, right? Yes. Big space battle, just like the anime, right? Isn't that how it opens? Like Frieza's attacking the planet, and the Saiyans are getting their asses kicked.
Well, it's more like one Saiyan flying in space through a whole bunch of...
Well, we're upping the ante.
I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's Frieza soldiers fighting Saiyans, and Saiyans fighting Frieza soldiers. There's explosions and big budget stuff. And then our resident lead dude we have initially, Bardock, you have Goku's father. See, I do know some stuff.
Bardock is awesome.
Yeah, he flies up and fights our scary, mostly shadowy, because he doesn't really matter in this version, bad guy Frieza. And, there's a very brief scene setting this conflict up, like a few little bits of action. And then, basically, before we see much more than Frieza doing his big, like, death beamy, like, final attack that kills Bardock, we see the pod capsule, the Superman Kryptonian thing that they send Goku away in, right?
Yeah,
that. We see that fly away, and then cut to these big, dramatic opening credits. And these opening credits basically give us a truncated retelling of Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Like all the important stuff. Like we meet Yamcha and Krillin. We see Goku land and deal with Grandpa
Gohan.
Yeah. So we basically just, through the span of these like dramatic, like kind of... not still framey, but just stylish opening credits, we get the story of what's happened so far to our character, leading up to, obviously, Goku fighting Demon King Piccolo, right? Except in this version, it's just Piccolo. We're dropping the Demon King just because it's confusing.
So, like...
We'll see. I'll get there.
Okay.
So the end of these credits, we basically lead up to still backstory Kid Goku fighting Piccolo. And then just before they like charge at each other for like, big final attack, we cut.
Is this, for clarification, is this when Goku's a young adult, almost looking like modern day Goku, fighting in the Tenkaichi tournament against the younger Piccolo, or in your version, the same Piccolo? Or is it the original time when he was a kid?
Somewhere in between. It's just visibly younger Goku fighting a visibly younger Piccolo.
Gotcha.
Just for the audience's sake, we just need to know this is our lead as a youth fighting weird green dude.
Gotcha.
And then just when they're clashing, fade to white, whatever, cut, and we are in present day. And Goku is telling the story to Gohan, his son.
All right.
Yeah, they're in their like old house in the forest kind of thing, and Gohan does that like, Dad, I've heard this story before, so he doesn't even let him finish. And Goku's like, but this is the best part. Like he's hyped about it, and Gohan's like, I don't really care, Dad, and leaves to do his own stuff. Then we just get some generic, cute like character development-y stuff with like just Goku, Gohan, and Chi. Is that the girl?
That's his wife.
Yeah, her. All just, living in the woods, doing stuff like Goku chops down a tree with his hand to demonstrate how stupidly powerful he is. And basically, the whole bit of this intro, aside from just introducing our characters, is to set up a dynamic between Gohan and Goku. Basically, Goku's a meathead, right? He's fought all his life, whether that's because he's a Saiyan and is biologically programmed to be a psychopath or just because he's a meathead, whatever.
Psychopath's a little mean, but I get your point.
And Gohan does not want this. He's, a kid. Well, aside from being a kid, he's nonviolent. Like, he wants to read and go do whatever the hell kids do. And he doesn't want to fight. He has no interest in fighting. He doesn't care. But like after our just, opening bits where we see how Goku and Gohan's life and dynamic works, boom, Raditz.
Okay.
Yeah, Raditz. He lands and he's looking for something. But we get that setup, he's a bad guy thing where the farmer like shoots him and he fucking kills him. Like just one hand like snaps his neck. Something grisly, but I think we'll keep this PG-13, so there's no gore. It's just, dead. And then he flies off after we get our brief, like, who the hell is this scary bad guy from space thing?
With awesome hair.
I don't think we could do that hair in live action, but we can do something close. I don't know.
I'll hold you to it.
If Aquaman can do entirely CG hair, I think we can make it work. But yeah, after that, we cut to Goku taking Gohan to see his old friends at Roshi's Island. Roshi's Island, not to be mistaken.
Yeah, not to be mistaken with Yoshi's Island.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
or Yoshi's Cookie. So they go and, Krillin's there and Yamcha's there and a bunch of other side characters I don't know or care about are there, I'm sure. And Goku just introduces the kid, and the kid, Gohan, is just like, okay, sure, Dad, thanks, whatever. Like, he's into it, but he's like, they're mostly focusing on his dad because his dad is, the old hero and their old friend, but they're just, aside from the shock of, holy shit, you have a kid? Like, they're all just focusing on Goku.
We haven't spoken in the last, 4 years, and, you suddenly have a kid.
Yeah. Then we cut to Raditz again, and he's actively searching now. Like, he's kind of just flying around. It's like, oh, this place is disgusting, blah, 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 pathetic people in cars. Like, he's flying above cities, kind of looking around. And then he pulls out this device. A scouter. He puts it to his eye, or it folds down from some CG fucking visor thing or whatever, and it starts tracking, a life form. And he's like, okay, there you are. Flies off. Quickly, he arrives at, Roshi's Island, where Goku and company are. Now, who's he looking for?
Goku.
Wrong.
What?
In this version, the scouter is pointing him out to Gohan.
What? Why?
Because in this version, Gohan is already the strongest. He thinks he's looking for Goku because, he's went to this planet for a specific reason, and the scouter is pointing him to something, the most powerful thing on the planet as far as he's concerned, and he sees his, half-brother?
It's his full brother.
Oh, well, whatever. He sees Goku. There's a moment of just, oh, brother, blah, blah, blah. And there's bits of exposition, like, introductory stuff, and Goku's a little pensive, but then before the scene even gets its legs, he's like, wait a moment, like, move, like, pushes him out of the way, Gohan. And then he's like, you're the most powerful one here.
Wait. So like, this isn't the Gohan with, the rage boost getting be the most powerful. This is...
The scouter actually makes sense in this version. So it knows the potential in there. It doesn't factor in weights they're wearing or, their clothing or their hair or whatever dumb shit. It knows that in terms of just raw output of, super power, Kai, whatever the fuck, Gohan is the most powerful.
Huh.
Yeah.
So these scouters would have a hard time reading Frieza.
Sure.
Go ahead, continue.
But yeah, so Goku's like, don't touch my son, and Raditz's like, oh, I'm gonna touch your son, and beats up Goku real quick, which scares the crap out of everybody because he's fucking Goku, and Gohan has no idea what the hell this creepy guy's talking about with him being strong, so he does not fight back and just kind of cries and screams. Raditz grabs him and basically says, yo, thanks for the nephew, buddy, flies away. So Goku's left ass beat, but he quickly takes off after him, and again gets just swatted like a fly, lands in the ocean, messed up, like, oh god, this guy's kicking my ass already. Then swims back to his friends. His friend's like, what are you gonna do, Goku? Goku looks off camera dramatically. I need help. Cut to Piccolo. Piccolo is living off in this cave by himself, being edgy or whatever. And, we get some, environmental storytelling, maybe he's got, I don't know, Polaroid, news clippings of what happened. I don't know. There's something there to denote.
Piccolo with news clippings is a very funny idea.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. There's some kind of environmental storytelling in his cave or cottage or wherever the hell he's run off to. And then Goku shows up. They stare each other down dramatically. It's really, really tense. And, he's like, oh, he's like, finally come to finish what you started. Or, we're going to fight. And then Goku's kind of like, I don't have time for this bullshit right now. My son was kidnapped. I need your help. He's like, why would you come to me? And he's like, well, this guy's strong. And if he's stronger than me, I figured you might want to, a crack at that. And they just basically form an unsteady alliance.
So it's the same thing as in the show, except for the fact that rather than Piccolo being the one to suggest it and hunt down Goku to do it, Goku's doing all the suggesting and hunting down Piccolo.
Yeah, Goku is taking the initiative here because it's his son on the line.
Interesting.
Yes. So those two fly off, they chase Raditz down, and then when they find him, though, Raditz has already ditched Gohan. Like, he does not have the kid on him. They're like, oh, fucking crap. But anyway, they're like, well, we'll just kick the crap out of him and make him, tell us. Sure. So they have a bit of a scuffle, and they just get bodied. Like, they get destroyed. Like, Raditz basically laughs and monologues at them while kicking both their asses at the same time. Like, it's a cool fight. Visually, there's a lot going on, and there's explosions and Kai Blast, and we're like, wow, these guys are strong. But, Raditz just kicks the shit out of them, flies away, and he's like, oh, like, Kakarot, I was going to just leave, but now that you're, like, being an ass, like, blows up a city. Like, just up the effects budget and make Raditz evil-er, and then he flies away. So those two were basically like, holy shit, we fucked up. And it's because we don't work together. It's like we were half one-upping each other. Like, I tripped you once. Like, we're not exactly a cohesive fighting force, are we? So reluctantly, Piccolo goes back with Goku to Roshi's Island and trains with him. So we get a few scenes of those two actively, like, trying. Again, it starts off with them hating each other and shit, but, like, they slowly don't learn to like each other, but over this course of, not even a montage, just a succession of quick-ish scenes of them learning and training together, they at least get some camaraderie.
So wait, this whole chunk of time, Raditz is just still out there, just kicking?
He's doing something.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Like, so he's not just off in the first fight.
Nope.
All right.
No, again, then it's not like this takes place over the course of like a month, but it's like there's like a night and day transition. Like, they run off and they spend like a day and a half or 2 days training or something.
Okay. More time than he was alive during the anime.
Yeah, well. So, in the midst of all this, like, Goku and Piccolo training thingy, we have a brief scene of Raditz and Gohan. Like, Raditz shows back up at his Saiyan ship, because he flew a ship in this version, not like a space capsule, like a ship.
Oh, so he didn't, like, arrive in a pod. He actually had, like, an actual spaceship.
Yeah. It, like, looks like his Saiyan armor or something, just to keep, like, the production design consistent.
Interesting. So it's probably more like a Frieza ship, then.
Sure. Anyway, he has a brief conversation with Gohan, kind of being like, oh, nut up, little wuss. Like, like, why aren't you acting like a Saiyan? I'm going to need you for the coming conflict. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm a kid. So Raditz foreshadows there are other Saiyans. There's some kind of thing he needs him for, and blah, blah, blah. And Gohan's like, holy shit, get me the fuck out of here. But, he's just trapped in the ship, and Raditz is doing some contrivance to make sure he can't leave yet. Like, he's repairing the ship, or he's calling for reinforcements or something. Like, he has something we as the audience don't even need to know about yet that is keeping him from just taking off.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I forgot to mention something.
Go ahead.
So, during that initial fight between Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz, where they got their asses kicked, Raditz's scouter fell off. Like, he was busy fighting, and, he doesn't need it anymore, so he didn't even notice. But when one of the few good hits the heroes got on him, his scouter just flew off, and they kept it.
Okay.
So, after they're properly trained, they use the scouter to find him.
So they're not using their key sensing?
No.
Okay.
I didn't know that was a thing.
They have.
Is that like in the video game when you like click the stick and you like look back, look left, look right?
Exactly what that is.
Oh well,
no. They had it. Okay.
No, because before, like when they found him initially, it was short range and like he was not being subtle. But now that he actually left like the continent or whatever the fuck, because he came from distant, like a far distance.
Okay.
But so they use the scouter to find him.
Not as good at.
Yeah,
it. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And just for narrative interest, they use the scouter to find him.
Okay.
So they show up. They stare him down. There's brief like Raditz being like, "Oh, come to fight again? Like this time I'll just kill you, brother." So they have a fight, blah, blah, blah. They do a lot better because they're friends,
Friends in quotes.
Yeah, friends in quotes. And they still get their asses kicked. Just beaten into the fucking pavement, just done. But before they go down for the final count in the second, or this fight, one of their, like, stray Kai Blast or something, or one of their, like, even just getting knocked into the ship, opens the ship. So Gohan is freed from, being kept in the ship. He runs out and he's like, oh, daddy, you need help. And, Goku's like, run! Like, get out of here. Raditz, being a cruel piece of shit, basically decides to try and egg Gohan on. So he's like, grabs Goku by the throat and, starts like, beating the crap out of him. He's like, oh, your weak father's going to die. Like, aren't you going to do anything about it? Like, trying to just goat him into acting like a Saiyan. Unfortunately for Raditz, this works. Gohan basically getting bullied into it does just have a moment like where he, does the Saiyan scream, like the wind around him like parts and like there's a shockwave. And then he punches Raditz so hard that he flies through like trees and mountains and shit and just, crashes into a crater like half conscious. Like he's basically knocked off screen.
Oh, jeez.
And, everyone's like, including Gohan, is like, holy shit, what just happened? And, they have a brief moment where it's like, okay, let's get up and get out of here, hurry. Then, Raditz, being a warrior, is like, okay, that hurt for once. I'm back. Runs back in and then, like, knocks Gohan out with one good hit because, Gohan's still, like, 5.
Yeah.
So he knocks Gohan out and, basically is like, all right, fuck this. Like, I'm going to finish this fight now. Then Goku and Piccolo give each other, like, a look. And then they're like, all right, plan B or plan Z, whatever. So Goku grabs fucking Raditz by the, arms, puts him in that half Nelson thing, and then Piccolo primes up
Special beam cannon.
Yeah, that one. And, gets ready for it. And, there's that moment of just, are you sure you want me to do this? And then he's like, yeah, just do it. And, the big dramatic, like, opera score. And Gohan wakes up just in time to see Goku and Raditz both just get fucking just dead, like just blasted through their midsections. Like they both fly off from one another after it hits them, both like on their last legs, they both dying. And yeah, so Piccolo goes to make sure Raditz is dying, and then he in his dying words is like, oh, fuck you. Like, this doesn't matter. There's 2 more powerful Saiyans on their way to meet me here. And then, Piccolo's like, 2 more what? You're like terrified, like, holy crap. And then Goku's loved ones arrive to be like, oh God. Or no, more dramatic. Piccolo and Gohan, who now can fly because, he always could, but now he's like, okay, I have powers, sort of. They fly Goku back home, like as fast as they can.
Okay.
So Chi-Chi runs out and is like, oh, my husband's dead. Sweet. Like, so, there's a tearful, like, goodbye between them and such. And then right after Goku dies, because he is still a pragmatic man, I'll say, Piccolo's like, child, I need you to come with me. Like, I need you to train with me. And then Gohan's like, what? And then, he explains the situation like, there's more powerful bad guys coming and you are the most powerful person on this planet. And with your father dead, it's your responsibility. And then, Chi-Chi has the moment of like, fuck no. But then, they kind of meet in the middle, like left decision, right decision. Gohan's in the middle. Chi-Chi asks Gohan what he wants to do.
Oh, wow. This Chi-Chi is much nicer than the real Chi-Chi.
Is she?
Much.
So's Piccolo for giving him a choice.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, the point is Gohan has agency in this version. Like he actually like has a choice.
That is quite different.
So he basically, after looking at his, dead father and seeing the smoke of that destroyed city and his memory and all that shit, or he flew over it on the way back, I guess, sure, dramatic. He reluctantly goes with Piccolo. And, they fly off the train. Chi-Chi looks on tearfully. All of Goku's friends are there, and they're like, oh, God, we're sad, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, credits.
Wait, what?
Credits.
What about Vegeta and Namek and
post-credit scene 1 is the first time in the anime when we saw Vegeta and Nappa, like when they're like on the battlefield being like, oh sweet, we killed some people and whatever.
Wait, are you telling me you just took 5 episodes of Dragon Ball Z and turned that 5 episodes into a whole movie?
The second post-credit scene, if we're doing the Marvel style, is Goku in front of that like death secretary
Yami.
Yeah, sure.
But you're not avoiding this question.
Yeah.
You just turned Raditz, one of the shortest lived villains ever, into a whole movie villain.
Raditz was cool. And
I mean, don't get me wrong, Raditz is awesome, but
it leaves a lot of room for sequels.
Holy hell. If that's the length, if 5 episodes is the standard length of a Dragon Ball Z movie in your universe,
we'll see.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's that. Badam.
Wow. I like it. I mean, there's definitely a lot of changes there, but they're all like kind of subtle tweaks.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's more just like funneling it. Like it's not really that different.
Yeah, like it still has like Dragon Ball Z feel, but it's not
still in the same universe. So
yeah, the Raditz better have that magnificent hair.
Maybe.
All right, so what's your challenge for me?
All right, today make me an anime out of Kevin Smith's Dogma.
What?
Yeah, like the 1998 religious comedy.
You better take me through the plot again.
Okay, so basically, short version, 2 angels get a tip from a demon that if they walk through a certain archway in New Jersey, that they will be sent back to heaven. And these angels have been, like cast from heaven long ago for sins that they did and shit like that. And if they go through this, they will be negating God's decree, thereby negating the universe. So basically, these two angels inadvertently or unknowingly are going to destroy the universe by doing something. And a ragtag group of people led by a woman named Bethany, the last scion, with the help of Jay and Silent Bob, have to go to New Jersey to stop this. And there's adventures and ballyhoo along the way.
All right. I think I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to have to start by setting some things out on the table.
Which are?
All right. First of all, this is a Japanese anime. And the Japanese people love the themes of Christianity. They love angels. They love demons. They love God.
Seven deadly sins.
Yeah, all the symbolism that comes with it. But it's not like they really understand the intricacies of Christianity enough to make an anime making fun of Christianity.
At least not as intricately as a Catholic boy.
Exactly. So that's basically being thrown out the window here.
So we're basically doing Catholic lip service instead of Catholic, intricacies?
Yeah, basically.
Whoa.
So we'll put that on the table, and I'll let you know other things that are necessary as we go.
Okay.
All right. Episode 1. You see the streets of Tokyo. The famous crosswalk with, I think it's 3 crosswalks interjecting, or maybe it's 4. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's a famous crosswalk in the middle of Tokyo. Anyway, we see that hustle and bustle of the city. We see cars. We see people walking. We see the billboards and all that stuff. And we see a lady carrying a purse, wearing a suit and high heels, running down the street like she's late for something.
Oh, wait. Okay, so you answered my question before I even asked it. Not New Jersey?
Not New Jersey.
Okay.
We're in Tokyo.
So we're definitely not in the View Askew universe anymore.
We are absolutely in Tokyo.
Aw.
Yeah, so she's running and she bumps into some people, and interjectedly through this scene, we're getting snippets of credit crawls. We're clearly replacing this opening thing is clearly replacing the opening theme song for this episode.
Okay. So since it's a pilot episode, there is no opening theme classically.
Yeah, they clearly have. It's ready. It's going to be the ending song, but they're just not using it for the open.
Right.
Anyway, so she arrives at a call center. She goes into the doors, runs up the stairs, takes a seat, puts on a headset, and starts her job.
Okay, so she doesn't work in an abortion clinic anymore?
No, she does not work in an abortion clinic. She works in the call center.
Okay, equally sacrilegious.
This is where our story begins. This is our lead. So we get a few.
So is this still Bethany or?
No. Well, okay. So.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about this.
Obviously, I'm gonna refer to her as Bethany or the Scion or whatever we refer to the main characters as will remain their English names. However, she'll probably be called Sakura or some other Japanese name.
Okay, so within the fiction we are crafting, there are different names for everybody, but for the sake of it, we're just going to say Jay and Silent Bob.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Sorry. Go on.
Okay. So we see her do her day and whatnot, and then she basically gets through her day. She gets yelled at by her boss, and she goes home. As soon as she goes home and closes her door, she lets out a sigh of relief and walks into her apartment around the corner, and it cuts. We now cut to a different view of 2 shrouded people sitting in a subway. They're basically discussing how they're going to open a gate.
So instead of an airport, they're on a subway.
Yeah, they're on a subway terminal.
Okay, and but this is Bartleby and Loki?
For the record, yes. These
Sorry, I keep jumping.
No, that's all right. And also, they do keep their names.
Because they are just named after,
angels.
Or I think Loki's, a Norse thing.
Well,
because they're more
supposed
titles
to be
and shit.
Western.
Yeah,
so
okay. So Bartleby and Loki are still called Bartleby and Loki.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So they're just they're talking about how they're going to open this gate, and they're talking real mysteriously. We're getting no information from them. It's just sort of mood setting. Then one stands up and on the subway platform unfurls his wings.
In public?
In public.
What?
We cut away.
Okay,
We're now cutting to 2 characters standing on the street, seemingly trying to pick up girls. Not really succeeding, and only one of them is trying to pick up girls. This is, as you might have guessed, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yay.
Silent Bob is identical. He's basically the same, almost exactly the same character.
Nice.
Jay, however, is very different. Jay is basically a pretty boy. He acts suave, he looks suave, and he kind of is suave, but by a comedic element, he is basically ignored or turned down by every girl he has advances towards.
Okay, so instead of being a jackhole, he's just
Somehow
damn it, the anime cliche.
Yep,
like he is good and they're all just ignoring him.
Yeah, he's basically Johnny Bravo.
Apt. All right, go on.
Anyway, so we see this for a few minutes, and then we cut back to our main character, who is now sitting in her apartment making some dinner. When she hears the doorbell go off, she, not really worried, walks over to the door, goes to open the door, and sees Metatron.
So what does he look like?
Also, wings unfurled.
Okay, so he's just right there with fucking wings
Yeah.
off the bat. No fire extinguisher necessary.
Yeah, no fire extinguisher necessary.
Okay.
That's the end of the first episode.
Oh. So just like, angel, the end.
Yeah, just kind of like, yeah. And from here, I'm just going to tell you the rest of the story. I'm not going to break it up into what episode is what.
So that was episode 1.
Yeah.
The rest is season 1 or
Yeah.
whatever. This story's worth. All right.
So anyway, Metatron then goes into basically the same spiel about, you're important and I need you to go do something for me. And she's like, fuck that. I'm not doing anything for you fucking weirdo. And he's like, I'm an angel. And he's like, I don't care. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, she ends up leaving in a huff, not doing what Metatron wants. Goes out. When she comes back, he's gone. She goes to bed and the next day wakes up, plans to go to work. We get a similar scene to what happened in the first episode. She's again somehow running late to work, but this time she decides to take a path between buildings,
as one does.
Yes. So she's trying to go through when she's suddenly accosted by a man wearing basically a black hoodie with a weird symbol on his chest and basically violently assaulted.
Okay.
It's mostly like kind of a grapple struggle.
Yeah, he like grabs her and razzles her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's clearly trying to do something bad, but she's not like nothing bad has happened yet. When Jay jumps into the fray and basically sucker punches this guy. Just a bam. She's like, oh my God, thank you for saving me. And he's like, oh yes, you are welcome. You should sleep with me. And she's like, no.
Okay, so he's still just as much of an idiot.
Yeah, no, he's still an idiot.
He's just less
He just is a pretty boy and also kind of suave, but he just has no idea how to get women despite being suave.
Wrecked at Jason Mewes. Go on.
So they basically end up puppy guarding her back to work because they don't really know what else to do. And she, at the front of her building, meets the 13th apostle.
Rufus?
Yes.
Okay, so they haven't even began their quest.
No, not yet.
Begun?
So she meets Rufus out in front of her work.
Is he still black?
Yes, he is.
Yo, all right.
But for the sake of this anime, he has a different name.
Yeah, Rufus wouldn't sound too good in an anime.
Not only would it not sound good in an anime, it doesn't really make sense as being a 13th apostle.
Well, no, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, I know. But if the original movie can make fun of the name of a possible 13th apostle, an anime can do the same thing.
Fair enough.
So anyway, basically a lot of bickering and back and forth and not believing stuff happens until she once again meets Metatron in her house when all of them are at her house.
So Metatron actively talks to all of them?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, listen, y'all, do this. And basically by this point, she caves in. She's seen enough crazy shit. She's like, okay, I'll fucking do it. So anyway, she's like, all right, fine. She actually calls her work and is like, all right, I'm going to take some days off. And they start their adventure.
Okay, so if they're not trying to get to Red Bank, New Jersey, where are they trying to get to?
Well, they don't know where yet.
Okay.
So there is a location that the angels know, but the main characters don't know.
They just know they're trying to stop.
Yes, they know they're just trying to stop them. So what they're trying to do right now is trying to track down the angels.
Oh, okay. So different objectives.
Yes. So anyway, the angels are basically going about, we do see snips and pieces throughout the episodes of the angels basically continuing being kind of shrouded in darkness, kind of doing creepy, planning stuff, but nothing specific. So while they're trying, and it's constantly a chase of the main characters are one step behind the angels. Wherever the angels are, the main characters arrive 15 minutes late or whatever.
Yeah, we saw a scene of Bartleby and Loki talking in a bar mysteriously, and then the next scene with Last Scion crew, they're in that bar, and Bartleby and Loki are gone.
Yeah, exactly. However, the first time they do come across each other is on a bullet train.
Oh wow, it's a bullet train now.
Yeah, it's a bullet train.
No ticket.
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave their ticket. They didn't give their ticket to the.
I was quoting the quote.
Well, I don't remember quotes as well as you do.
I know.
Anyway, so on this train, there's a big fight. No, the angels must be stated. They have way more overt powers than they ever did in the movie. We're talking like elemental controls, like basically high-level magic.
So all the shit that they talk about in the movie, they can actually do in the anime?
Yes.
Okay, so fire and brimstone, rain and sulfur, flaming swords.
Exactly, like all that stuff. They have it all. And it is also revealed now that the 13th apostle also has, like, again, high-level magic.
Metal.
Yeah, different kind of magic. Jay and Silent Bob still don't have anything. But yeah, this fight is going crazy, and the 13th apostle is heavily losing. He's holding his own only because the angels can't go all out inside a train that's going 500 miles per hour. However, it's during this fight, it's revealed that the Scion might have some kind of special ability. It's because she ends the fight with some basically large, like, shockwave.
Okay.
She doesn't know where it came from. 13th Apostle didn't know she could do that. The angels didn't know she could do that. And at this point, they're beginning to assume she's a Scion, but they don't know it yet. They're just like, what the fuck's going on? We're just going to get out of here. Like, they're like, this is not helpful to our plan right now.
So Bethany has superpowers now?
Basically, yeah. They get off the train and they realize that they are now in the heartland of Tokyo. And the next episodes basically are them again tracking down the angels. However, the angels are not being shown at all. However, the main characters keep hearing about murders and muggings and death and all this stuff happening around Tokyo. Like, there's a lot of people dying for some reason. They clearly assume there's angels are somehow involved, but they don't really know exactly how it's connected. Finally, they get a lead from a mysterious woman that they pass on the street that they should head to this really old shrine in a disused section of Tokyo.
And naturally not questioning this, they do it.
Basically, yeah.
Fine. Oh, wait, was that the Muse?
Actually...
Oh, no, spoilers? All right, fine. If we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So they go to the hill, and when they arrive, they see this really old, brilliant shrine gate standing there right at the entrance of the shrine. Right below it, there is, drawn in blood, basically half-finished magic circle. There's also the two angels and 12 fucking basically bodyguards. They're basically street thugs.
Evil apostles of the angels.
Basically.
Whoa. Okay, so they have henchmen?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's dope.
They're carrying like guns and bats and things. Like they're like
hockey sticks?
Sure, fine. One has a hockey stick.
Yeah.
So a fight ensues where basically the 13th Apostle fighting everyone while Jay and Silent Bob have comedic running away or like, maybe tipping over something and it hits them or whatever.
But they can't really do much because they're just two idiots.
Yeah, they're just two idiots fighting.
They're just there for comic relief.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So the Scion eventually breaks away from that fight, walking towards the angels. She basically is going like, what are you doing? Why are you killing all these people? What's going on? Yada, yada, yada. And it's at this point they begin to reveal their plan. They're basically like, we are trying to get back into heaven. And in order to do that, we need to go through points at the shrine gate, this gate. And she's like, why? How is that supposed to help you? And he's like, because you're here. And at that moment, the half-finished magic circle encloses around her, lights up a bright red, and basically starts drawing all of her energy into it.
So her, like, Jesus-y superpowers is the way they activate the gate?
Yes. They basically use the fact that she exists to power their way home. So anyway, the trail from the magic circle starts bleeding itself towards the shrine gate, lighting it up with an even brighter red, and a warble of an effect in the shrine gate is shown. And then in the center of the shrine gate, as the warble starts to dissipate, a marble staircase heading up appears.
That's fairly overt.
Yeah, well, I mean, the heaven's not very subtle with its pearly gates and all.
Fair enough.
So by this point, the 13th Apostle has finished fighting all of the goons and has realized what's going on with the Scion. So he actually just basically pushes the Scion right out of the magic circle, landing him in the middle, and the whole thing backfires. The energy is drawn back from the gate into the magic circle, flowing into the 13th Apostle with a massive explosion, basically rendering him assumedly dead. Like, he is super bloody, super wounded. He's not moving.
Killing off Rufus?
Apparently. The angels are furious. They're like, holy shit, what the hell are you doing? And it's at this point where our last scion, like, freaks out about Bernard basically dying, and...
Bernard?
Rufus.
The fuck?
Shut up.
Bernard?
Shut up. You're not using this part, future Eric.
Oh, I 100%
No, you're not.
am.
And you're not using this argument either.
Oh, no.
Anyway, she has a Gohan-based rage boost where she basically freaks out about
About
Rufus.
what happens to Bernard?
Oh, shut it. Just because I'm bad with names doesn't mean you get to make fun of me.
Fucking Bernard. All right, sorry. It's out of my system.
She freaks out about Rufus basically being dead and teleports right to one of the angels, plants his face right in the ground, basically knocking him out almost instantly. Like, there's basically a small shockwave. His face is several feet into the dirt. The other one freaks out and starts basically summoning hails of ice and fire, throwing it at her, and she's dodging it and weaving through, but not making any progress towards him until she looks over at Rufus again, looks back at the angel, and starts walking forward. No longer dodging. The things are hitting her, scraping her, giving her lots of cuts and bruises, but she's just not stopping. As she gets a couple feet from the angel, she grabs one of the icicles right from the air, flips it around, charges straight into the angel, right through the heart.
Okay, wait. Bethany kills one of... Okay.
Yeah. He starts basically flipping out, like writhing in pain, like, ah! Until he basically is engulfed in flame. And the flame stays there after he has basically disintegrated. And from the flame, you hear a booming voice.
What have you done? You have ruined everything!
And with that, the flame disappears. Obviously confused, she turns around to see the angel and is about to basically finish the other angel off when she hears a small cough from Rufus. She turns around and sees him, like,
Bernard!
twitching, slowly moving. She in like a panicked hurrah, runs over to him, clutches him like, oh my God, you're alive. He's like, barely. And she basically has a decision to make. She realizes that his injuries are so severe, she could basically rush him and get him treatment now, or use her power to basically finish off the other angel. And
She can't heal him?
if she has that ability, she
doesn't know it yet. Okay.
Yeah. So she makes the decision, as most anime characters would do, to save her friend. And she basically finds Silent Bob hiding behind a rock somewhere. Basically says, come on, we have to get out of here. We cut forward. It says a few days later. We see Rufus in a bed with basically gauze all over his body. And, he's healing up. And the last Scion is sitting in a chair asleep, waiting for him to wake up. They have a little chat about, like, why you shouldn't have saved me, you should have stopped them, and she's like, you were more important, yada, yada, yada.
Friendship is magic.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then it's at this point when Metatron reappears and explains the full situation. He explains how what the angels were doing. Well, he reaffirms the idea that the angels were opening a gate to heaven because they were cast out for sins that they committed, and that the reason they were killing people is because they needed enough souls to actually open the gate. And the last Scion's power was the last key.
So it was a soul gate now.
Basically, it was not something that, like, a priest did.
Okay, so wait. Them getting back to heaven, would that still, like, ruin the universe and, like, kill everything?
No, there's no mention.
So it's just bad?
Yeah, it's just
They just don't want it.
Yeah, it's basically God would not be happy if two angels he cast out got back.
Okay, so this is lower stakes, technically.
In a technical sense. However, he then reveals that the reason this was so important, because God could obviously cast them back out, was because the true mastermind behind all of this was Lucifer. Then we have a flashback to the flame. Lucifer was the one that goaded these angels on, the one that told these angels what to do, how to get back into heaven, and that he was the real threat that they were going to need to take out. This was nothing but like an appetizer to the real thing they were going to have to try to defeat.
So instead of that demon who, like, was cast out and then wanted to destroy everything.
Yes, it was actually Satan.
Okay, so that's bigger.
Yeah, and that's where it ends.
Wait, with like Metatron explaining this? So
and everyone gearing up for the second fight for a season 2. That will never happen.
What?
Because this is a Madhouse production and suffers from the Madhouse curse.
The what?
It's you know how Valve has the they can't count past 2 thing?
Yeah.
Well, Madhouse used to be known for not being able to make a second season. Not because their animes weren't popular, but just because they just didn't make a second season.
Okay.
So it suffers from the Madhouse curse. Despite having great sales in both Japan and America, no second season ever will come.
Okay, so we just had Dogma with a failed cliffhanger and no God.
Yeah. Well, God exists in this universe, but he wasn't supposed to appear until season 2.
God damn it. Okay, I know this was Jared's thing. I don't care. So in the English version, Kevin Smith still dubs Silent Bob's one line.
Sure, I'm cool.
Because that would be awesome.
Sure, I don't really have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because you asked this earlier and I hit it before. The woman that they met on the streets that told them
Was that God?
that was God.
Okay. It was one of the two. It was the muse or it was God.
It was God.
Okay,
But,
word.
but
I like that. I like that.
But that's like a writer's note that
Yeah,
will
like
never be
no,
mentioned.
it's not actually confirmed or would have been confirmed in season 2.
Exactly.
I like how even in the fantasy you're making, the theoretical audience is still dicked out of seeing a second season of something they like.
It's a very native thing to an anime watcher.
Yeah, fair. Life isn't fair.
Yeah, it is not.
All right, that's the end of part 1 of our 2-part pilot episode for Little Live Story. You should be able to find part 2 in the exact same place you found part 1. So